The big room shone with bright lights. Flags from 100 worlds hung from the high ceiling. The floor was black and shiny. Many different aliens stood and talked in small groups. Some had tentacles, some had fur, some had scales. But they all came for the same event, the 347th Galactic Cultural Exchange. Mina Park stood in the shadows. Her heart beat fast. She was the only human there. Humans had only been part of the United Galactic Coalition for 3 years, and not even as full members. At 24 years old, Mina was chosen because she could sing very well. She knew many songs from Earth. This was her big chance to show the important aliens that humans deserved to be full members of the galactic community. "Are you scared, little mammal?" asked a tall, thin alien named Draz. His skin was see-through and it glowed with moving patterns of light. He was a Velocian, one of the oldest and most powerful groups in the coalition. "No, just getting ready," Mina said. She tried to sound brave. The Earth leaders had warned her about the Velocians. They thought they were better than newer species like humans. "Don't expect much clapping," Draz said, leaning closer to her. "Your kind is still on test period. The coalition only invited Earth to be nice to Director Han." Director Han was the human leader who had worked hard to get Earth into the coalition. Mina knew he was counting on her to do well. A loud voice filled the room. "And now from the planet Earth, a new member species, human Mina Park, will perform traditional Earth songs." Mina took a deep breath and walked onto the stage. She ignored Draz's mocking bow. The bright lights made it hard to see at first. Thousands of eyes, tentacles, and other alien-seeing parts were all looking at her. She bowed and began to sing. Her voice was clear and strong. She started with an old Korean folk song, then moved to a powerful opera piece. She had practiced for months. She picked songs that showed how much humans could do with their voices and how deep their feelings could be. As she reached the highest note of her song, she noticed something. The room was very quiet. No one was whispering or moving around. They were all paying attention to her. In the front row, Director Han smiled proudly. Next to him, several important coalition leaders leaned forward in their seats. They seemed impressed, even the ones whose faces didn't look like human faces. Mina was about to start her last song when she saw movement from the side of the stage. Draz and 2 other Velocians were walking toward her. This wasn't part of the plan. Before she could do anything, they surrounded her. "Your time is up, human," Draz said quietly, so only she could hear. "I still have one more song," Mina started to say. "The founding species have decided your show is not good enough," Draz cut her off. "Move aside for the Velocian singers." Mina stood her ground. "I was given 15 minutes. I've only used 10. Draz's skin flashed red with anger. He nodded to his friends. All at once, 3 pairs of long, thin arms pushed Mina hard. She fell off the stage, down nearly 2 meters to the hard floor below. She landed on her side with a painful thud. The crowd gasped. Some aliens laughed nervously. Others made angry sounds. Director Han jumped to his feet, but security guards held him back. Mina lay on the floor trying to catch her breath. Her body hurt. Above her, Draz took the center of the stage. "Honored representatives," his voice boomed through the room. "The Velocian Dominion is sorry for the humans' dramatic exit. Now let us show you true art from the better members of our coalition." The Velocian singers began to make high, strange sounds that hurt Mina's ears. Slowly, she pulled herself up from the floor. Her left arm hurt badly from the fall, but nothing seemed broken. What was broken was any idea that this was a fair event. She looked at Director Han. He shook his head slightly, telling her without words to accept what happened, to not make trouble. For the sake of diplomacy. Mina stood up straight. She looked right at him, then at Draz and the other aliens on stage. And she made a decision. The Velocians had pushed her down, thinking she would stay down. They thought humans were weak. They thought humans would always bow to the stronger species. They were very wrong. Mina walked forward, stopping at the edge of the stage. She waited for a pause in the Velocian singing. Then she spoke, her voice clear and strong. Point of order. The singing stopped. All eyes turned to her. The human speaks out of turn, Draz said smoothly. Security, please remove. I invoke Article 17 of the Coalition Charter, Mina said loudly. She had studied all the Coalition rules during her training. When a representative believes they have been treated unfairly during a cultural exchange, they may challenge the offending party to a contest of merit. A wave of surprised sounds swept through the room. The contest of merit was rarely used. It was an old rule from the early days of the Coalition when arguments were sometimes settled through competitions rather than just talking. A huge jellyfish-like being floated forward in a special tank. This was the Grand Arbiter, the main judge. Its tentacles moved gently as it spoke through a translator. The human correctly invokes Article 17. The Arbiter's mechanical voice said. Does the representative wish to specify the type of contest? Mina stood tall despite her pain. I do. I challenge the Velocian Dominion to the traditional trial of champions. The room exploded with shocked voices. The trial of champions was the most difficult form of the contest. Each side would present their 3 best people in tests of mind, creativity, and physical strength. Draz's skin pulsed with dark amusement. The human cannot be serious. Earth has only 3 colony worlds and barely a dozen space stations. The Velocian Dominion has 47 star systems. Our champions have been bred to be the best. Do you accept the challenge, or does the Velocian Dominion give up? Mina asked loudly. Draz's skin flashed with anger before turning a confident blue glow. We accept. The trial will begin tomorrow morning. I hope Earth has more people here than just you, little mammal. The Grand Arbiter's tentacles waved for quiet. It is decided. The trial of champions will start tomorrow. Each side will present 3 champions. The human group started this challenge and may choose the first trial type. Mina nodded. The first trial will be a test of creative problem-solving. As the crowd broke up, talking excitedly, Director Han rushed to Mina's side. What have you done? He whispered angrily. We don't have 3 champions here. There are only 17 humans on this entire station, mostly office workers and repair crew. Mina smiled grimly. Then we'll use what we have. Director, it's time to show the Coalition what humans do best. Think fast, change plans, and overcome problems. She looked up at the stage where Draz was talking with other Velocians. They were laughing. They pushed me down, Mina said quietly. Now I'm going to get up and show them why that was a very big mistake. The news spread fast through the space station. A human had challenged the mighty Velocians to a trial of champions. By morning, aliens from all parts of the station came to watch. Nothing this exciting had happened at a cultural exchange in over 50 years. Mina sat in the small room given to the Earth delegation. Her arm still hurt from the fall. She put ice on it while Director Han paced back and forth. This is crazy, Han said. We need 3 champions. We have 17 humans on this entire station, and most of them are office workers or repair crew. Then we use what we have, Mina said. She looked at the list of humans on the station. We need people who can think fast and solve problems, Han stopped pacing. I can be one champion. I was a math teacher before I became a diplomat. Mina nodded. Good. That's 2 of us. We need 1 more. A quiet knock came at the door. A young man with messy black hair and oil-stained work clothes stood there. He looked nervous. I heard what happened, he said. I'm Tay. I fixed the air systems on the station. Nice to meet you, Tay, Mina said. But we're busy right now. I want to help, Tay said. I saw what those Velocians did to you. It wasn't right. Unless you're secretly a genius or super strong, I don't see how you can help, Han said. Tay smiled a little. I've worked on this. Stationed for 2 years, I know how everything works. I can build or fix almost anything, and he pulled out a small device from his pocket. When he turned it on, it made a perfect copy of his voice, but louder. I make things in my spare time. Mina and Han looked at each other. You're hired, they said together. The big meeting room had been changed into a contest area. Hundreds of aliens sat in rows around a central space. The Grand Arbiter floated in its tank at one end. Mina stood with Han and Tai. Across from them, Draz had brought two more Velocians. One was very tall with rippling muscles under his clear skin. The other was shorter but had a large head that pulsed with bright lights. "These are our champions," Draz said proudly. "Krev, the strongest Velocian in 3 star systems. And Zith, whose mind has been enhanced through 15 generations of careful breeding." The Grand Arbiter's tentacles waved for quiet. The trial of champions will now begin. The human delegation has chosen creative problem-solving as the first trial. The Arbiter explained the rules. Each team would get the same pile of random parts and materials. They had to build something that could move a heavy box across a deep pit of bubbling acid. "You have 1 hour," the Arbiter said. "Begin now." The Velocians moved quickly to their pile of parts. With 6 arms each, they sorted through everything fast. Soon they were building what looked like a simple bridge. Mina, Han, and Tai looked at their own pile. "We don't have enough strong pieces to build a bridge that will hold the box," Tai said, sorting through the parts. "Then we don't build a bridge," Mina said. "We need to think differently." Han picked up some wheels and a motor. "What if we build something that carries the box around the pit instead of over it?" Tai's eyes lit up. "Yes, we can build a small robot car." They worked fast. Tai knew how to connect the parts. Han figured out how to program the small control unit. Mina kept an eye on the Velocians and helped where needed. Across the room, the Velocians built a beautiful bridge. It looked strong and had fancy decorations. The aliens in the crowd seemed impressed. "Time is up," the Arbiter announced. "Teams, present your solutions." Draz stepped forward. "The Velocian solution is elegant and strong, a perfect bridge to carry the box safely over the danger." His team placed their bridge over the acid pit. It looked good. Then they put the heavy box on it. At first the bridge held, but as the box reached the middle, there was a cracking sound. The bridge started to bend. "Add supports," Krev shouted, but it was too late. The bridge broke and the box fell into the acid with a loud hiss and splash. The crowd gasped. Draz's skin turned dark with embarrassment. "The human team may now present their solution," the Arbiter said. Mina stepped forward. "We took a different approach. Instead of going over the pit, we go around it." Tai put their small robot car on the ground. Han pressed a button on the control unit. The car drove forward, picked up the box with a simple claw, and carried it around the edge of the pit to the other side. When it reached the safe zone, it gently put down the box. The crowd was quiet for a moment. Then excited talking broke out. This was unexpected. "The humans have completed the task successfully," the Arbiter announced. "The first trial goes to Earth." Draz's skin flashed angry red. "This is not fair. They didn't solve the problem as expected." "The goal was to move the box safely to the other side," the Arbiter said. "How it was done was not specified. The humans found a creative solution within the rules." Mina smiled at Draz. "Sometimes the obvious way isn't the best way." The Grand Arbiter moved to the center of the room. "The second trial will be intelligence. Each team must solve a complex math problem that deals with space travel." This was Han's moment. The problems appeared on big screens. They were about how to calculate the best path for a ship traveling through space with different gravity pulls from planets and stars. Zith, the Velocian with the big head, started working right away. His skin glowed with bright patterns as he thought. Han studied the problem carefully, then began writing his solution. Mina and Tai couldn't help much with this one. They watched nervously as the two worked. Zith finished first, looking very proud. Han took more time. He checked his work twice before saying he was done. The Arbiter examined both answers. Both solutions would get a ship to its destination. However, the human solution uses 17% less fuel and is 22% safer. The second trial goes to Earth. The crowd was even more excited now. No one had expected the humans to win 2 trials in a row. Draz was furious. His skin flashed with angry colors. "The final trial is physical strength. Your luck ends here, humans." The Arbiter explained the last trial. 1 champion from each team would run through an obstacle course while carrying a heavy backpack. Draz pointed to Krev, the biggest Velocian. "He will crush any human." Mina stepped forward. I will do this one. Han grabbed her arm. Mina, no, your arm is hurt. Let me try. It has to be me, Mina said quietly. This started with me being pushed off a stage. It needs to end with me proving humans can get back up. She walked to the starting line. Next to her, Krev looked like a giant. His 6 arms flexed with strong muscles. He picked up his heavy backpack like it was nothing. Mina put on her own backpack, trying not to show pain when it pressed on her hurt arm. The crowd whispered. No one thought she had a chance. The final trial begins in 1 minute, the arbiter announced. Mina looked at Krev, then at Draz, who was smiling with confidence. They thought they had won already. They have no idea what humans can do when pushed down, Mina thought. They're about to learn. The room was so quiet you could hear the soft hum of the air systems. Everyone watched Mina and Krev at the starting line. Mina looked tiny next to the big Velocian with his 6 strong arms. The final trial is physical strength, the arbiter announced. Each champion must complete the obstacle course while carrying a 30-kilogram backpack. The first to ring the bell at the end wins. Mina looked at the course. First was a mud pit to crawl through, then walls to climb over. After that came rope swings over water. The course ended with a tall wall that reached almost to the ceiling. A small bell hung at the top. Krev's skin glowed with confidence. He looked down at Mina. You should give up now, little human. You will only hurt yourself more. Mina just smiled. Don't worry about me. Director Han and Tai stood at the side. They looked worried. She can't win this, Han whispered. Krev has 6 arms and was bred for strength. Tai watched Mina carefully. She has something else. Look at her eyes. The arbiter's tentacles waved. Champions, are you ready? Mina and Krev nodded. Begin. Krev shot forward like a rocket. His 6 arms moved in perfect time as he reached the mud pit. He went through it fast, his long body sliding easily. Mina was slower. The heavy backpack made her hurt arm throb with pain. But she didn't give up. She got down on her stomach and pulled herself through the mud. By the time she got out, Krev was already at the first wall. He climbed it easily, using all 6 arms to pull himself up and over. Mina reached the wall and studied it. Instead of trying to climb straight up, she looked for small holes and cracks she could use as handholds. She found a pattern that let her zigzag up the wall using less strength. The crowd watched with interest. Some were laughing at the slow human. Others were surprised she was still going. Krev reached the rope swings. He grabbed the first rope and swung across part of the water. Then he reached for the second rope. That's when he made his first mistake. He was going too fast and missed the second rope. He fell into the water with a big splash. The crowd gasped. Krev pulled himself out, his skin dark with anger. He had lost time, but he was still ahead of Mina. Mina reached the rope swings as Krev started climbing the final wall. She paused and watched him for a moment. Then she looked at the ropes. Instead of using them one by one, she tied 2 ropes together to make a longer swing. This let her cross most of the water in one go. The crowd murmured. No one had thought of that before. Now Mina was at the final wall. Krev was already halfway up. The wall was almost 20 meters tall with few handholds. Mina's arm hurt badly. Now, the backpack felt like it weighed 100 kilos instead of 30. She took a deep breath and started to climb. Krev was still ahead, but he was getting tired. His movements were slower. 3/4 of the way up, he stopped to rest. Mina kept going. She didn't try to race. She moved steadily, finding the best path up the wall. Each move was careful and saved energy. The human is still going, someone in the crowd said with surprise. Draz watched with his skin turning worried colors. Hurry up, Krev, he shouted. Krev started climbing again. He was still ahead of Mina, but not by much now. The bell was just a few meters away. Mina was tired. Her muscles burned. Her injured arm threatened to give out. But she kept going. In her mind, she saw Draz and his friends pushing her off the stage. She remembered how they laughed. Humans don't give up, she whispered to herself. We keep going. Near the top, Krev reached for the bell, but he was off balance because of the heavy backpack. One of his hands slipped. He didn't fall far, but he had to grab the wall with all 6 arms to stop himself. The crowd gasped again. This was Mina's chance. With a final push, she climbed the last few meters. Her hand reached out and hit the bell. Ding! The clear sound rang through the room. For a moment, there was complete silence. Then the arbiter spoke. The final trial is complete. Earth wins. The room exploded with noise. Some aliens cheered. Others protested. No one had expected this result. Mina carefully climbed down, her body shaking with tiredness. When she reached the ground, Han and Tay ran to her. "You did it," Tay said, his eyes wide with amazement. "How?" Han asked. "He was stronger, faster, had more arms." Mina smiled tiredly. "Humans aren't the strongest species, but we're stubborn. We keep trying. We find different ways to solve problems." Across the room, Draz's skin was dark with anger and shame. The mighty Velocians had lost to a small human with an injured arm. The Grand Arbiter floated to the center of the room. All the aliens grew quiet. The trial of champions is complete. Earth has won all 3 trials. According to our laws, the coalition must now recognize humans as full and equal members, with all rights and privileges. Director Han stepped forward. "The people of Earth thank the coalition for this recognition. We look forward to working together with all species." The Arbiter's tentacles moved in what might have been approval. "Is there anything else Earth wishes to say?" Mina looked at Draz. He couldn't meet her eyes. "Yes," she said. "We want everyone to know that humans may not be the strongest or fastest species in the galaxy, but we are determined. We are creative, and most importantly..." She paused and looked directly at Draz. "If you knock us down, we get back up." Later, as they prepared to leave, Krev approached Mina. "I don't understand," the big Velocian said. "You were injured. You had only 2 arms. How did you beat me?" Mina thought for a moment. "On Earth, we have a saying. It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog." Krev looked confused. "It means," Mina explained, "that strength comes in many forms. And sometimes the strongest thing you can do is to keep going when everyone expects you to quit." Krev nodded slowly. "Perhaps we Velocians have something to learn from humans after all." As Mina walked away, her arm in a proper medical wrap now, she smiled to herself. The Velocians had pushed her down, thinking humans were weak. Now the whole galaxy knew better. The Navi Council chamber was a large round room. 7 tall chairs sat in a circle facing a small platform in the center. The chairs were filled with the oldest and wisest Navi. Their skin had a golden glow that showed their age and status. Hana stood on the small platform. She could feel their eyes studying her. She could also feel their minds reaching out, trying to understand her. "Human Hana Kim," said the eldest Navi. Her name was Min. Her voice sounded like music. "You have caused quite a problem for us." "I didn't mean to," Hana replied honestly. "Intent is not relevant," said another council member named Tai. "Results are what matter, and the results of our study have become dangerous." "Dangerous how?" Hana asked, though she already knew the answer. Min leaned forward in her chair. "Our scans have changed you. You can now access our systems. You can touch our collective. No non-Navi has ever done this before." "And that scares you," Hana said. It wasn't a question. "Yes," Min admitted. "It scares us." Jin stepped forward from where he had been standing near the door. "Council members, I recommend we end this experiment now. The human should be returned to Earth with her memories wiped." "And if wiping her memories doesn't remove these new abilities?" asked Tay. The room grew very quiet. Hana could feel what they weren't saying. Some of them were thinking about more permanent solutions. "You're considering killing me," she said calmly. The council members shifted uncomfortably. "It has been discussed," Min acknowledged. "Some believe you pose too great a risk." Rin, who had been silent until now, stepped forward. "But killing her would be a mistake. What she can do, what she can teach us, It could save our species from stagnation, or it could destroy us, argued Jin. We have no way to know if her abilities will continue to grow. If they do, she could take control of our entire collective. I don't want to control you, Hana said. I want to help you. Why? Asked Min. We took you from your home. We experimented on you without your consent. Why would you help us? Hana thought for a moment. Because that's what humans do. We explore. We learn. We grow. And when we can, we help others do the same. A noble sentiment, said Tay, but not one that aligns with our observations of human behavior. We're not perfect, Hana admitted, but at our best, this is who we try to be. Min looked at the other council members. They seemed to be having one of their silent conversations, sharing thoughts without words. Hana tried to sense what they were thinking, but they had erected barriers around their minds. Finally, Min spoke. We will continue the study, but with new parameters. The human will be allowed to use her abilities under strict supervision. She will be given access to limited parts of our collective for research purposes only. Jin didn't look happy with this decision. And if she exceeds these limitations, then more permanent measures will be considered, Min said, looking directly at Hana. Hana nodded. I understand, and I accept your terms. Over the next few days, Hana worked closely with Rin and a team of Na'vi researchers. They created a special interface that allowed her to safely connect with parts of their collective. Each time she connected, Hana learned more about the Na'vi. She saw their history, a species that had evolved on a distant world millions of years ago. They had developed faster than light travel when humans were still living in caves. They had built a vast empire spanning hundreds of star systems, but somewhere along the way they had stopped growing. Their perfect, connected minds had become too ordered, too predictable. They could refine existing ideas forever, but they couldn't create truly new ones. Hana also learned that the Na'vi had been watching Earth for thousands of years. They had seen humans evolve from simple hunter-gatherers to a spacefaring civilization in what was, to them, the blink of an eye. Your species puzzles us, Rin told her during one session. You fight each other. You destroy your own planet. You make so many mistakes. Yet you also create art that moves us to emotions we barely understand. You make scientific leaps that should be impossible for minds as young as yours. We're messy, Hana agreed. But maybe that's our strength. As the days passed, Hana noticed strange things happening on the ship. Doors would open for her before she reached them. Room temperatures would adjust to her comfort without her asking. It was as if the ship itself was learning to anticipate her needs. Rin noticed too. You're influencing our systems even when you're not actively connected to them, he observed. Is that a problem? Hana asked. It's unexpected, Rin said carefully. Jin believes it's dangerous. Others are curious. And what do you believe? Hana asked. Rin hesitated. I believe you represent something my people need, even if we fear it. One morning, Hana woke up to find Jin waiting in her room. He stood by the door, watching her with those expressionless black eyes. Your influence is spreading, he said without greeting. Even when you sleep, your brain emits quantum patterns that affect our systems. Hana sat up in bed. Is something wrong? The environmental controls in 3 sections of the ship reconfigured themselves last night. The changes make those areas more comfortable for human biology. I didn't do that consciously, Hana told him. That's what concerns me, Jin replied. Your influence is becoming automatic, like a virus spreading through our systems. Or like 2 different operating systems learning to work together, Hana suggested. Jin didn't respond to that. Instead, he said, the council has decided to speed up the research. Today, you will be given full access to our collective. Hana was surprised. Why the change? Some believe we're running out of time, Jin said. Your abilities are growing too quickly. We need to learn what we can before. He didn't finish the sentence, but Hana understood. Before they decided she was too dangerous to keep alive. The full connection to the Navi collective was scheduled for midday. Hana was brought to a new lab deep within the ship. This room was different from the others she had seen. The walls glowed, with patterns that seemed to move like living things. In the center was a pool of silvery liquid. "What is that?" Hana asked, pointing to the pool. "The physical manifestation of our collective interface," Rin explained. "It contains billions of quantum nodes all connected to the greater Navi mind." "What do I do?" "You will enter the pool," said Min, who had joined them for this important test. "The interface will connect with your mind directly. No machines between you and us." Hana looked at the silvery pool with uncertainty. "Is it safe?" "For a Navi?" "Yes," Min said. "For a human, we don't know. No human has ever done this before." Hana took a deep breath. "If this works, if I can connect directly to your collective, what happens then?" "Then we learn from each other," Min said. "You show us how human minds create new patterns. We show you the accumulated knowledge of millions of years." Jin, standing near the door as always, spoke up. "Or her consciousness is lost in the vastness of our collective, or her quantum patterns corrupt our network and destroy millions of connected Navi minds." "Always the optimist, Jin," Hana said with a small smile. She walked to the edge of the pool and looked down at the swirling silver liquid. It moved like it was alive, forming patterns and shapes that seemed almost familiar. "I'm ready," she said. Min nodded. "Remember, we will be with you. Follow our guidance once you're inside." Hana stepped into the pool. The liquid was warm and felt strangely solid, like it was holding her up. She laid back, letting it support her body. The silver substance rose up around her, covering her completely, and then her mind exploded into infinity. 1 year had passed since the trial of Champions. Mina stood on the main deck of the starship New Horizon, watching as Earth grew larger in the view screen. After teaching at the Galactic University for a full year, she was finally going home. "Excited to be back?" asked Tay, who stood beside her. He had become her good friend over the past year. "Very," Mina said with a smile. "I miss the blue sky and real rain. And my family, of course." The ship's captain, a tall woman named Captain Lee, approached them. "Teacher Park, we will land in 1 hour. I must tell you there's quite a welcome waiting for you." Mina looked surprised. "For me? Why?" Captain Lee smiled. "You really don't know how famous you are on Earth, do you? The girl who stood up to the Velocians and won respect for all humans? Children learn about you in school now." Mina shook her head. "I just did what anyone would do." "No," Tay said quietly. "Not anyone would have challenged the Velocians after being pushed down. Most would have stayed down." As the ship entered Earth's atmosphere, Mina saw the clouds part. Below was the green and blue of her home planet. The ship headed for New Sol, where the main spaceport was located. When they landed, Mina was shocked. Thousands of people filled the viewing areas. Signs and banners welcomed her home. As she walked down the ship's ramp, the crowd cheered. A small girl broke away from her parents and ran up to Mina. She held out a picture she had drawn. It showed Mina standing at the top of the wall, ringing the bell. "You're my hero," the little girl said. "When the kids at school pushed me down, I remembered your story and got back up." Mina knelt down to the girl's level. "What's your name?" "Jin," the girl said shyly. "Well, Jin, that's exactly right. The most important thing is not how many times you fall down, but how many times you get back up." After the welcome ceremony, Mina was taken to meet the Earth Council. Director Han was there, now promoted to Earth's chief ambassador. "Mina," he said warmly, "your work at the Galactic University has been remarkable. Students from 30 species now take your classes, but we've asked you to come home for something important." Han led her into a meeting room. To her surprise, Draz was there, along with representatives from 15 other alien species. "What's going on?" Mina asked. "The Coalition is establishing its first official headquarters on Earth," Han explained. And they want you to be the director of interspecies relations. Draz stepped forward. It was my idea, actually. No one understands better how different species can learn from each other. You taught me that strength comes in many forms. Now we want you to teach others. Mina was speechless. This was far more than she had ever expected when she had stood up after being pushed off that stage. I don't know what to say, she finally managed. Say yes, Tay encouraged her. You've already changed how aliens see humans. Now you can change how we all work together. Mina looked at the aliens in the room, then at Han and the Earth Council members. Yes, she said. I accept. 6 months. Later, Mina stood on the stage of the newly built coalition headquarters in New Seoul. Behind her was a beautiful building that combined architectural styles from 20 different worlds. In front of her sat thousands of people, humans and aliens together. Today we open a new chapter in galactic history, Mina said into the microphone. For the first time, the Coalition Central Office will be located on Earth. This shows how far we have come in just a short time. She looked at the crowd and saw many familiar faces. Draz sat in the front row, his skin glowing with calm blue light. Krev was there too, now the head of a new sports exchange program. And in the very back, trying not to be noticed, was Jin, the little girl from the spaceport sitting with her school class. When I went to the cultural exchange 18 months ago, I never imagined I would be standing here today, Mina continued. I was just a singer who wanted to share Earth's music with the galaxy. She paused, remembering how it felt to be pushed off that stage. But life often takes us in unexpected directions. Sometimes we get pushed down. What matters is what we do. Next, do we stay down? Or do we get back up and try again? The crowd was silent, listening carefully. Humans have a saying, fall down 7 times, get up 8. This simple idea is at the heart of who we are, and now it's becoming part of who we all are together, humans and aliens working as one coalition. After the ceremony, Mina walked through the new building with Draz. The Velocian had become an unlikely friend. Did you ever imagine this would happen when you pushed me off that stage? Mina asked him with a small smile. Draz's skin showed patterns of embarrassment. Never. It was the biggest mistake of my life. And also, strangely, the most important. It changed everything. For me, for Velocians, for humans. For the better, I think, Mina said. They reached her new office. Through the window she could see Earth and sky. And in the distance, the stars where 100 alien worlds spun in the darkness. On her desk was a small model of the statue from the Galactic University. A human figure getting up from the ground, one hand reaching toward the stars. Beside it was a new message from Jin's teacher. The little girl had started a club at her school called Get Back Up, where children taught each other to be strong in the face of problems. Mina smiled. That was the real victory, not beating the Velocians in some contest, but spreading the idea that falling down isn't failure. Giving up is. As the sun set over New Seoul, Mina thought about her journey, from a singer pushed off a stage to the director of interspecies relations. It had all started with a simple choice, to get back up when pushed down. Sometimes the smallest actions change the universe.